Hey guys, opening of walleye season. Ready to catch some minnows. I don't know if you guys are able to tell, but right there, right where the white line in the clear water, I can see some minnows there. I don't see any here. But what I'll do is I'll try to cast it that way, let the current bring it in. I'll try to have it as low as possible and then slowly bring it up, and hopefully I'll get some minnows there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm probably gonna position this camera to try to get this shot right. They're still underneath that white foam. So let's throw it that way. Let's let it come under. But one thing is that once you get this net in there and they see it, you kind of get spooked. And then the more they see this net, the harder it is to catch them. And that's why I made my own net with this fabric that I bought from like a fabric store. And the net is not very strong, but since it's so light, it's so much harder to see in the water. And it's just an awesome net for catching minnows. It works so much better than the other net. I think I see them. Let's just toss it in there and see what happens. See that my I can't toss it that far because I left my other string at home. But I'm thinking they're still underneath this water. I'm gonna bring it up underneath this cloud and see what I get. Proper phone holder, so I'm afraid that if my phone falls, I'm just gonna have to buy another phone. Okay, I'm gonna show you. Okay, so this is the corner that usually people stand right here in this corner, right in the very corner. Cast out here in the current and let it come in like this, and then the net drops. Then it drops, and then you pull it in slowly. Usually they congregate right here, and you pull up the net as fast as you can once you get to this point, and you usually catch minnows. But if you can see, some of the guys get caught up on some of the bolts and kind of things that are sticking out of the wall, and their nets and ropes get stuck out there. So there's a piece of rope that's been there for about 1.5 years. So you got to be careful of that. And now there's some nets down there right at the bottom that have gotten stuck down there. So you got to be careful. You can't let your net go all the way down, because if it goes all the way down, it's getting stuck down there and you'll never see it again. Some of the guys come down here with some powerful magnets and hooks and get them out of the water and try to refurbish them and use them and stuff like that. But once it gets down there, it's hard. Let's show you this baffle that they built. I seen them here working on this as we were fishing here. You see this, guys? That's the baffle. I guess the water, when it comes down and the way it's designed, you see that one baffle that's in further, and then so there's two that are out further and then one in, and then I think it keeps going down. So there's one baffle coming out, there's one stuck in, and then there's another one coming out. I guess that creates a current. I guess that creates a space where the current is not so strong, and the minnows are able to swim through this until they get past this corner, because this corner is where, you know, there's like a bottleneck type of action going on here. So, you know, the volume of water going down in the bottleneck, it creates more turbulence, and the water gets faster. It's harder for the minnows to come up. So that's the baffle. I guess it only comes up to over here. Sometimes when it's really hard to catch minnows, and we'll catch them sneaking up along this wall, we'll cast our nets here along this wall, and we'll get some. Here's the last one, guys. And let me see if I can give you another shot looking that way. See that? There you go. Well, fishing here is sometimes challenging, but if you come down here and you want to fish down here, and you watch some of the locals do it, just pay attention to what they're doing, guys, and it gets a little bit easier. Don't be afraid to stop and have a conversation with these guys that are fishing down here. Most of these guys fish here like 2 or 3 times a week. They know what areas where not to throw, how to throw your line. If I get some time, and if you guys are interested in this video and you guys see some of the things that I have or that I'm using, and you want to know how to make them and how to use them, let me know. It all depends, the feedback that I get. I'll go more into detail, and if you want, we'll go farther down where that bridge is. There's rocks down there where you can go close to the water and you can fish. I bet you right now there's smallies biting like crazy down there. Look at that. Can you see that? Look at all those minnows. Look, that's all I need. That's all I need. Usually I like to get a couple of them because some of my friends will come down here and they don't make these nets, and usually guys, they're pretty expensive, these nets, so most of them don't have them, and if they do, sometimes they lose them, because I know how to make them, and I have plenty of extra supplies at home, so every time I lose one or I sell them too, you know. Some guys will ask me to make some nets for them and I sell them, and but my net works pretty good. I mean, one of these days when guys are down here trying to catch them, you'll see how hard they have it just to catch 5 or 6 of them. But with this net, man, I kill them. I just kill them. Well, there we go. Let me show you. Let me show you what they look like. But that's about it. I got enough. I got different aerators. Then I just they got this cooler that you could buy at Cabela's, I think. I think you can get them on online too. But I had already had this cooler at home, and I just had to rig it up, and it works just as good. And I think I bought this like at a second-hand store. Here, I'll show you. I bought this at a second-hand store. Let me see if you guys can see this. Okay, right there. I bought this at a second-hand store, and I think I only paid like $2 for it. And so I started off with this bubbler, but I got tired, man. I got tired of spending that money on those batteries. And I was looking for rechargeable batteries, but then I did some research, and most of those rechargeable batteries are no good. And the ones that I liked, the ones that I wanted, you couldn't find them at Walmart. All you could find is that Energizer brand, and the reviews on them weren't too good, so I just, you know, I don't like to waste my money. So what I did is I just took an old battery, old wire from charging a phone, and I cut it and I rigged it in there. So I hook it up to a portable battery. I'll show you. The thing is that I don't like, I gotta find something that regulates it, because it'll push out like 12 volts, I believe, or 9 volts. So that motor runs pretty fast, which is okay for me. But with one of these batteries, man, I got this thing at Walmart, you know, It's not bad. I think I paid 30 bucks for it. It was around Black Friday. That's when you can get the best deals on them. And so now I just use this, and I plug it in. Just plug it in right here. Let me see if it's working. Give me a minute. God, now I know why all those YouTubers are always talking about when they're holding their... There it goes. I don't know if you can... Oh no, my bad. That's the one that I bought afterwards. I bought this when I seen this at Cabela's. This is what I made from one of these old bubblers, you know. And they have the bigger ones that have the D batteries in them, but they're big and heavy and cumbersome. So this one uses the AA batteries, which I kind of like better. It's smaller, less weight. But I think I took the wire out. My bad, guys. I took the wire out that I had it wired in, because once I bought this, I didn't need this anymore. So if you guys see, let me show you how this one works. This one's got this long wire. I wrap it around here. I leave it just in case I don't bring a battery and I gotta stop by a store real quick. But I'll put it on, and you guys, here, I'll show you. My friend gave me this this rock. Just disperse the bubbles in the water a little bit better to keep the minnows alive. Yeah, so that works to keep them alive. I try not to use the battery. What I'll do is I'll just refresh the water every about 15 minutes to keep them alive. But let's leave that in there for now. And I plugged it in, so let's just leave. I gotta make something, guys, to hold this battery pack. But this is not the normal battery pack that I use for this. I have one that's a lot smaller. There it goes. You see, it'll fall off. I usually just put it in here, but I have to make something where I could I use magnets, or I use a lot of that hot glue with the hot glue gun, just to have something that'll keep it on there. But let's take that out, and I'll show you these minnows. See, I just use all kinds of stuff. I just use the other end that comes on the other side of this right here. So I just drilled a hole, and I just reused that just to keep it, you know, because of plastic. If I didn't put that in there, puts a washer or something, that probably, you see that bolt's kind of rusting through. I probably should have used a stainless steel bolt, screw. Then you see how I used hot glue there to I got this plastic thing off of one of those, what do they call it, mechanical pencils? That's the grip to a mechanical pencil. So it was nice just to put that there, so to hold this line in there. But let me get some of this wood out of here, so you guys can see. You guys can see these minnows, these beautiful minnows down here. I think they call these emerald shiners. Emerald shiners is, I think that's what they call them. You just say minnows, but yeah, look at these babies, guys. Look at these things. Look, some of the guys come down here and lake. You can't take them to other lakes or other bodies of water separate from this lake. So if you do come get minnows, just keep that in mind, that if you catch minnows here, you can only use them in this lake. You can't take them to other lakes. They're trying to keep, you know, keep the transmission, you know, of so you don't transmit like diseases to other bodies of water, you know. So that's just something you guys probably should know. So I thought I'd mention it. You don't want to take these minnows somewhere else. You can only fish with them in this body of water. But guys, let's go down there where those guys are at, and let's see if we can get a walleye. So let's get ready. Oh, this cart, if I made this cart out of a milk crate, and this part right here was made out of a walker. Let me close this in so I can show you guys. I just love making stuff. I do. I find so much joy in making something and then using it, and then you know, finding out that, oh man, this would be a little bit better, that would be a little bit better. And the whole reasoning behind this cart here, guys, it's I have a small car, so I mean, there's other carts that they sell out there and stuff, and weight for me is important. Not right here necessarily, but sometimes I go to some places that I have to walk for a distance, and weight is important, and being able to break it down. So this handle, you see, it clicks in right here. I don't know if you guys can see that. It clicks in right here. It clicks in right here. So this whole top part right here comes off. So it's easy. It's very easy for me to fit this in the back of the trunk. It all breaks down. I got my net. Got my net there. I got my 2 poles. I can have up to 4 poles. So I have this pole right here for my camera. So I could put my fishing rods. I have another hole. I just found this seat, which I think is nice. I found this at an Amvet store for $4, man. And it was brand new in a bag. And I was thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking. And you know, when you find something you know you should buy because the price is too good and you know you're going to use it, but you'll be like, man, I'm always trying to justify something, you know. Should I spend $4 on that? Should I spend? So I bought it, and I'm glad I did buy it. It has a small cooler inside here. So for the beers, it's not warm enough yet, but I guess you could put a cell phone in here. Put a cell phone right here. You could put I put my cup right here because I was gonna make a cup holder for this cart, and I was gonna attach it here on a swivel, so that way when I bend this car over like that, see, like everything else swivels, you know, and that way the coffee won't spill. But I have to come up with that idea. I have to find something that I can attach here that'll swivel. The cup can move while I'm walking, and it's bumping. It'll swivel like everything else. You see that blue bag? It swivels back and forth. So then, depending on the water that I have here, usually I have a bigger bucket that fits right down there where I keep my fish. So when I have weight in the bottom, depending when I put it down like this, it creates too much weight right here. So I can, this bag has got some sinkers and some of my fishing gear. What I'll do is I'll regulate this so it goes down further, and then the weight will be evenly distributed in a way which is very easy to pull this cart down. You know, these wheels, that's a piece of stainless rod that I found at a yard sale. I cut it up, you know. I call it, I'm Puerto Rican, by the way, so I'm a Puerto Rican redneck, guys. I make all kinds of stuff. So these wheels are from, you know, those what do you call them? Remember the wheelies, the shoes that had the wheelies in them, but they have these other ones that are meant to put around your sneaker, and you could use them kind of like wheelies, like rollerblades, something like that, you know, those wheels. Well, at a secondhand store I seen a couple of them, and they were only like $1 a piece. So when I seen it, I was like, well, I could use these one day. And then I bought them. I stored them in the house. Then one day I came up with this idea, and oh, yep, that's where I'm going to use those wheels. And it's perfect because the wheels, it doesn't sit too high off the ground, and I could still fit it in the truck without no problem. So I just figured that. And if you guys want a little bit more detail on how I made this cart, I can show you. I've made so many carts. I make carts for working on the truck, for my tools. Like if I have something and I want to organize my tools and make it easier for me to transport something, I even made my own dolly. If you guys want to see that, I'll show you guys. I made my own dolly with just this was around COVID time where you couldn't go to the stores and just buy stuff. So, and I had extra time, so I'm like, okay, I need something, let's make it. I can't go out and buy it, I'll make it.